Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers toy review. As you can see, another Lightning Collection figure. This is the Mighty Morphin Ranger Slayer, straight from the pages of the Boom comics. And first things first, how I got this has a bit of an interesting history to it. I pre-ordered this figure when it was announced from Amazon. I want to say that was either in February or March. I think late February, to be honest with you. The release date for the figure finally arrived and nothing happened. And I gave it another couple of days. It was delayed. They said it wasn't available, etc., etc., etc. And it just wasn't available even though I had it pre-ordered, to the point that I finally ordered it from GameStop. But even though the figure had already come out, GameStop still listed it as a pre-order, and it also wasn't available. This figure was very hard to get your hands on. Finally, I believe it just became available on my Amazon pre-order. I basically had pre-ordered it from both Amazon and GameStop and just decided to wait and see which one came through for me first. And it came through from Amazon. This is one of the first Lightning Collection figures I've ordered from Amazon. I'm pretty sure, I'll go back through my order history and put something on screen if that's not true, but I'm pretty sure it is, and some of you have probably already noticed something that Amazon is rather notorious for. The box is dented. It came in a bubble mailer and got squished in shipping. Anytime I've ordered these from GameStop, they've come in a box. And I'm pretty sure that Hasbro Pulse also ships them in a box. Amazon throws them into a bubble envelope and you end up like that. I will say that I am not a box collector. I display the figures out of the box and really just keep the boxes to have something to put them in when I eventually move and need to store the displays in a convenient fashion for moving. But for the moment, the boxes are just sitting on a shelf. So it's not that big a deal to me. I'm not, like, this would frustrate the crud out of some people that love to display them in the boxes. But yeah, that, you know, it is unfortunately just a thing with Amazon, and you have to keep that in mind. If you are a box collector, you probably want to go with either Hasbro Pulse or with GameStop. That all being said, here is Ranger Slayer, and we can take a good look at Sally Slayer, as I call her. You can see the accessories there in the box. To be honest with you, this black blade blaster here, I wasn't really expecting. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't think we've ever seen her use it in the comics. But you can see an extra pair of hands. The awesome bow, I think it's called the Darkness bow, but it's a bow made out of 2 Swords of Darkness, and a really neat triple arrow accessory. The figure looks amazing even in the box, and I'm really looking forward to getting it open and taking a look. You've got that amazing art there that goes wrapping around the side of Ranger Slayer. And then you've got that same art on that side here. And the action pose that we'll try to match on the back, which also reveals there is an energy arrow accessory as well. It occurs to me here before I open the box that I should maybe explain to people who don't read the Boom comics who Ranger Slayer is. You've probably, even if you haven't read the comics, heard of Lord Drakkon, the evil version of Tommy Oliver that decided to stay with Rita and got the combined powers of the White Ranger and the Green Ranger. Ranger Slayer is the Kimberly Hart of that universe, who attempted to stop Lord Drakkon but ended up brainwashed by him, and her pterodactyl power coin was modified and combined with unclear other powers to make her the Ranger Slayer, who was sent back in time to rescue Lord Drakkon and defeat the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but was sent back too far and ended up in the Go-Go Power Rangers issues of Shattered Grid. So that's her deal, and she actually just popped back up in the finale of Necessary Evil, to help those Rangers out by getting the Solar Rangers, so she's pretty neat. All right, let's pop this thing open. Weirdly, I feel like this is the first background of a Lightning Collection figure in a little while I've opened that's been appropriate, pink and black. Okay, well, sorry to spoil the ending of this review and skip right to it, but this is already my favorite Lightning Collection figure. I love this figure. It is amazing. It's just, the detail is so nice. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here to show you. There's scratchings on the thigh armor. She's been in a lot of battles for Lord Drakkon, and you know, that armor is not, there's actually one up above the leg armor on her right, your left side. That's just amazing detail. You can also see the cape there, and yes, the cape is plastic, and that's kind of a debate in the action figure world on characters that have capes. Do you want them to have plastic capes that are posable, or fabric capes that actually can like blow in the breeze and look like that? But for me, I actually prefer the plastic capes because it's like a still image of the character, you know, locked in kind of a flowing sort of an action. Whereas, to be honest, if you have a fabric cape on a figure, most times it's just going to be laying limp and not moving and not look as dynamic. They've included some nice holes in it. Again, you know, it's tattered and, you know, just battle torn and everything. This is going to require a little bit of digital zoom, but the coin symbol is kind of iffy for me. I do believe it is supposed to still be Kimberly's pterodactyl coin, but it's just kind of a shape. I love this helmet, and I just love the way that the black and pink contrast with each other. It just pops out so well, and this figure just looks so good. It's even a small detail, but I love how the fins on her helmet are kind of further elongated and popped up. This is speaking as much to the character's design as the figure, but they did reflect that, so that's awesome as well. To show you here, this is the darkness bow with the 3-arrow accessory, and I think you can see there, but it kind of snaps onto the bow at these two connectors here, which is a nice little touch. Her hand doesn't grab it really well. Well, since she decided to fall down there, I will take this opportunity to now talk about the cape and how it actually comes off. Just as a little tip, when you're trying to get it out of the box, you actually do have to remove the figure from the cape and pull the cape out the back. But this just comes right off like that. And that's a look at the figure without a cape, which is a good look in and of itself. Those diamonds on the back connect very nicely. It's a good looking figure there, and I love this little detail. This is, you know, classic archery arm bracing and just extra armor. It's very nice. She has a holster right there. What for? For this, a black and silver version of the Blade Blaster in blade mode. And you just pop that right in there, and that'll just hang on to that like that. Let's put her cape back on. It's just such a excellent look for her with that cape. Just adds so much to it. This is the accessory we saw on the back of the box, and I will try to again attach this. I was going to pose her with this and see. There's a couple different possibilities where it can connect. I see a little thing right here that looks like it could hook on, or a couple like areas like this with little holes where it could hook in. I'm going to look at the picture of the back of the box, but this is just meant to be like a long streaking pink arrow of energy. It looks very cool. It's one of the neater accessory parts. You can see there's an arrowhead here and the back of the arrow here. That's very cool. Her two extra hands are fist and choppies. So before I finish getting her into the back of box pose, I just wanted to confirm that area I showed with the little holes on the back does attach to the arrow holder up there, and that's how you get the energy projectile into the bow. For my experience with the Lightning Collection, this back of box pose is really, really good. I give this an A in terms of posability to the back of the box. You know, I pretty much nailed it. I could maybe turn the bow a little more up, but that's just kind of angle especially. And just, yeah, it's good and posable. It's actually balanced pretty well, especially considering the cape on the back that can throw everything off. But yeah, it stands pretty well in the way that it's intended to be posed. One unfortunate thing, though, that I did notice while I was doing this, you can see on the picture here on the box that she has pink striping on her shoes. You can see here on the figure that her shoes are actually solid black, so that's a little disappointing. I really don't like it when the details on the figure don't match the back of the box, even when it's a small detail like that, because in a way it just kind of feels like you're not getting what was advertised. This would normally be the part where I would put on her human head and make some kind of joke about the helmet and her human head and whatever, etc. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, this figure does not come with a human head. I would figure that it would be easier. The only thought that I could possibly have, and actually I'm going to disqualify this, but I'll give the thought anyway first, is that since she comes from the comic books, they couldn't use their like facial scanning technology to create that 3D human head. Except, as you're probably thinking right now, they did that with Lord Drakkon. So, and I know that's Tommy and that's JDF, but it's an older JDF with like facial scars and stuff. So you could have done short-haired Kimberly just the same. I remember having the theory, and I suppose this could still be true, that they didn't want to give away her slightly different look from Ranger Slayer #1. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't have minded getting the Kimberly, the Sally Slayer, that we saw in Shattered Grid in Go-Go Power Rangers. That would have been fine. So it's disappointing not to get a human head with this figure. I would have been fine not getting the 3-arrow accessory or this Lighty Bolt accessory, but this is, they tend to seem to have one of those in every box. So get rid of the 3-arrow accessory and give us Kimberly's human head. You know, that's kind of unfortunate. And to be honest with you, the only human head that I could put on this figure that would be kind of appropriate is Trini's, and I don't actually consider that appropriate at all. So we're just going to skip that step. Overall, this is still an amazing figure. It looks really good. It's an excellent addition to the Lightning Collection line, and I'm really glad that they gave us a female character and a dynamic character from the Power Rangers comics, and that it wasn't just Lord Drakkon that we got from the comic book, so it's not just this Tommy obsession, but we have this other amazing dynamic character that we get from the pages of the Power Rangers comics. So I absolutely approve of this figure. I will give it my thumbs up. Sorry, Sally. It's definitely worth the price. Again, it should be about $20 to $25, depending on tariffs and etc., etc. I believe at this point, I've actually had this for a few weeks, going through work happening again and other things that were delaying my channel. By this point, I believe the figure probably is readily available. That's another thing that I'll check and put a graphic on screen for. I wanted to throw in a little voice section here instead of a graphic because the ordering situation for this figure is slightly more complicated than I thought. While you can, of course, go to places like Big Bad Toy Store or eBay or etc., the 4 main places to find Lightning Collection figures are Hasbro Pulse, GameStop, Target, and Walmart. Ranger Slayer seems to be in stock for regular ordering on Hasbro Pulse for $20. For whatever reason, she's still listed as a pre-order on GameStop's site with a shipping date of July 6th, which, as of the time of this video's publishing, was several days ago. At Target, she's unfortunately out of stock. Amazon has her listed as in stock, a whole 12 cents cheaper than Hasbro Pulse, However, what's interesting here is the shipping. Amazon seems to have updated their shipping expectations, and it's listed that the shipping on this figure could take 1 to 2 months. Fastest delivery is listed as July 26th, which is nearly 3 weeks. So keep that in mind if you're going with Amazon. But suffice it to say, whether it's available or not, if you can get your hands on it, I would definitely recommend it. It is worth adding to your collection. That's going to wrap up another Power Rangers toy review. Thank you, heroes, so much, as always, for watching. Now that this video is over, you can let me know what you think of this figure, as well as my review of it, down in the comments below. Are you hoping to get Ranger Slayer, or do you already have it? Let me know in the comments below what you think of this pretty amazing, at least in my opinion, figure. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. And make sure you're subscribed to my channel to see all of my videos, and ring the bell, get your notifications set up so you're notified whenever I post brand new videos. And if you'd like to lend any financial support to my channel to help me get some more of these lovely figures to review, although I do have more of these reviews on the way, you can check me out on Patreon or Ko-fi at Orange Ranger Videos. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you.